Here is my audience. Oh, wait. Okay. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer is a powerhouse of prolific artistry and filmmaking expertise that the studio famously said attracted more stars than are in the heavens. The sources I used for my presentation today were www.mgm.com, mgmhistory.tripod.com, wikipedia.org/wiki/Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, #founding, www.entrepreneur.com, www.cemeteryguide.com. I interviewed a close friend, Alicia Robinson, www.drmacro.com, and www.oscars.org, www.jillpaul.com, and www.nytimes.com. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer is the topic that I'm going to be discussing, and I'm going to tell you of their discovery, the Golden Age, and what has happened during the past decade for them. Marcus Lowe was an entrepreneur of entertainment, and by early 1924, he had the Metro Pictures Corporation and Golden Pictures under his belt, but they brought with them a problem. With these two corporations combined, Marcus Lowe first saw that he would have trouble running these two picture corporations. And so he sought out Louis B. Mayer and Mayer Pictures Corporation. And Louis B. Mayer had been a renowned producer of movies for the past decade himself. And so he was a very viable asset that Marcus Lowe added to his studios. And thus, in April of 1924, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer was founded. But however, 4 short years later, Marcus Lowe passed away. And so the spot that needed to be filled was filled by his associate, Nicholas Schneck. Nicholas Schneck sought to sell his corporation, MGM Studios, to William Fox, who was in charge of Fox Studios at the time. However, Louis B. Mayer would have nothing to do with this. Him and his associates did not like the idea at all. And so it happened that the Great Depression of 1929 hit William Fox and his corporation, and therefore he didn't have the financial support to merge his companies together. So Louis B. Mayer stayed as vice president of MGM Studios, and they were able to thrive on their own. Another important fact of founding is for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's trademark sign, you always see Leo the Lion. Leo the Lion was actually part of the Goldwyn Studios or the Goldwyn Pictures Corporation. And along with Leo the Lion, you also see Ars Gratia Artis above him on the circular banner that's above his head. This means art for art's sake. They kept these two icons, the logo and the lion, since 1924, and it has been seen on every movie introduction of MGM Studios. Sources. MGM Studios was able to thrive and soon passed up Universal Studios to become the prominent studio that made more stars than are in the heavens. Louis B. Mayer and boy wonder Irving Thalberg created about 50 feature films per year. And they, at their peak of their golden age, they were able to release about 1 feature film per week, along with short films that went during the year. And some of these movies were known as Best Picture and won many Oscar awards Two of those movies were in fact Gone with the Wind of 1939 and The Wizard of Oz of 1939. My close friend Alicia Robinson said The Wizard of Oz was my favorite movie when I was younger, and I always get excited when I'm going to watch it again. Wizard of Oz that year won 2 Oscar nominations, and The Gone with the Wind also won 8 Oscar nominations along with the Best Picture award that year. And this still of Wizard of Oz is of Ray Bolger, Ben Lahr, Jack Haley, and Judy Garland. MGM Studios was also one of the first movie studios to experiment with Technicolor, and soon sound followed after that. So there are no more black and white films with silent films. They're slowly progressing to colored and sound pictures. And MGM actors like Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, Spencer Tracy, and Joan Crawford are known today as actors and actresses that filled the box offices with their movies. Everybody remembers them. They're famous from back of MGM's golden age. And Irving G. Thalberg, who was the boy wonder that worked alongside Louis B. Mayer, was actually rumored to be the creative genius behind all the movies. And people remember him today during the Oscar Awards by the Irving G. Thalberg Award, presented to those movie producers that have made great movie productions, kind of like as a reminiscent memory of Irving G. Thalberg himself. And these pictures here, the top one is a still of Clark Gable and Joan Crawford from The Dancing Lady. And the bottom one is of Clint Eastwood joined by Arnold Schwarzenegger, presented with the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award, March 27, 1995. MGM's golden age was filled with many classics and many great stars, but as time goes by, good things must come to an end. By about 2004, MGM Studios was having financial problems, and they were looking for corporations who would make a bid to sell out their company. Sony Corporations of America made a $5 billion bid and won against Time Warner, and therefore set MGM Studios back on their feet again. And other movie studios like the Weinstein Company, Sony Pictures, and 20th Century Fox helped MGM Studios slowly progress back into making more movies again. And with the help of Sony Corporation's bid, they were also able to put MGM movies back on iTunes so people could buy the movies to watch through iTunes, and they're able to remake their older movies in high definition. Unfortunately, the bid didn't last very long, and by 2009 they went back into a very deep debt. They were possibly facing the idea of bankruptcy right now, but they're still looking for corporations to bid them out. And these corporations were Time Warner, Warner Brothers, Century Fox, and Lionsgate. The only problem with this is that these corporations didn't want to buy MGM Studios as a whole. They were mainly attracted to MGM's library, and in the library they have the copyrights to the most famous franchise of movies, the James Bond movies, along with Rocky and Pink Panther. There is just so many good movies that they have in their library, but the copyrights too. This was the main asset for many of them. As Michael J. De La Merst said, its 4,000 title film library and rights to the James Bond series and The Hobbit have attracted the eye of rival studios and private equity firms. But like I said before, nobody was interested in buying the corporation as a whole. And so this led ultimately to MGM Studios bankruptcy. By 2010 or 2011, they actually came out, though, that they had risen above their bankruptcy. And with new people and new changes, they have slowly made their way back into being the movie studio that they were before. And they can now be found in Hollywood on Beverly Hills because their location changed from Culver City to Beverly Hills. Although MGM Studios has been on a wild roller coaster ride, the studio stayed alive and continues to provide movies for classic entertainment. To conclude, MGM guided us through the beginning of cinema magic and is still producing movies that will entertain their audience for years to come. Thank you. And here's my audience again.